Good morning, students. Last time we have done the commands till cat, right? Now today these two are remaining, echo and clear. Echo is an inbuilt command which is help for displaying any text, a line of text on the monitor. Okay, I want to print something on the screen, so I can do that with the help of echo. Clear is a command to clear the command prompt. Okay, now what do you mean by clear the command prompt is I have a command prompt stating the commands. I am typing the commands, and my screen is going up. My screen is full of the commands, right? I don't want that. I just want my black screen with no commands, nothing written on it, no output and no commands. So that time I can just click on write the command clear to get the screen clear. Okay. There are certain file system hierarchy standards which the Unix or Linux follows. So the GNU's topmost directory is called as the root directory. Okay, as we have one inside the other, there is a hierarchy. So the Linux is the topmost directory, is the root directory, and it is written as just one slash. If you want to go for this root directory, you just need to type a slash and you will get to go to the root directory. All directories are stored under the root directory. For example, if the user is ABC, the home directory will be called as home ABC. Yeah, because it is ABC user's account. Everything in Linux is represented as a file. This includes your cameras, your storage devices, microphones, network devices, everything are termed as files. Okay, because Linux or GNU in CD-ROM or in command line prompt, you need to give it as files. Now, this is a brief summary of the file system. Slash, we got to know that it is a root directory. All files and directories are stored under this directory, including your hard disk, your pen drive, your camera, storage devices, everything under this slash only, under this root directory only. Next is slash bin. Essential system programs are stored here. So that is, this is not my recycle bin, but this is a bin which has important programs and files. Slash dev, all connected devices are stored here, including your internal devices, temperature sensors, or whatever you all are using. All devices are stored as slash dev. Slash etc, etc. System configuration files are stored here, right? Internal files which are required are stored in etc file. Slash proc, files that provide information about processes. This is information like how much RAM is free and how fast the CPUs are running. Okay, if I would like to show you all task manager. Okay, and if we get this task manager, can you see, I can see the usage here. How much CPU is used, how much memory is used, how much disk, what is the network, right? So all these things I can get with the help of slash proc. That is, which processes are being rendered inside the CPU. Okay. Slash temp, these are the temporary files which are stored. Slash home, it is the home directory wherein the user's home directory are stored here. Right? How many accounts are there? Those many home directories will be created and those will be stored in slash home. These there are many more directories. The user can read more about them by searching the file system hierarchy standards online. If you want to search more, get more information about FSH, then you can go for it. Why you need to learn or use GNU or Linux? Why? There are huge number of benefits of learning GNU or Linux. Sooner or later in the career, GNU Linux will be used in the workplaces. So as if you are going to get into the world of computers, you should be knowing this software. Okay, because it has many benefits. So people can switch from Windows to Linux. Then at that point of time, if you don't know Linux, you won't be able to sustain, right? The Android operating systems that the smartphone runs on is a modified version of GNU or Linux, right? So in smartphone also nowadays we are going to use GNU. Linux is free and open source. Okay. First point is Linux is free and open source. The word free here does not just mean free of charge, but also means freedom. Anyone is free to use this software, distribute them freely, and even study and modify the source code to suit one's own need. Right? It is free for y'all. It's given us freedom. You can get it, you can download it, install it, use it for free. If you don't want to use certain features, okay, if I am a person who I just want it for printing, or I just want the Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, I don't want the other features. So what I can do, I can modify it, and for my own purpose, my own needs, I can fit in the same way. Okay? So Linux is free for downloading, modifying, editing, and it is open source also. No money, no cost. Second point is Linux operating system is free from viruses. The users need not install any antivirus software. This saves money as well as valuable time. The users are free from the trouble of updating the virus definitions and checking unknown USB disks that is plugged in, right? So there's no need for y'all to first of all get an antivirus, then regularly update those, get the virus definitions, and whenever I am putting any USB, any pen drive or hard disk, right, or any CD, so that time no need for me to run the antivirus software and check that. Moreover, antivirus software is not 100% reliable. Correct? Antivirus softwares are also not 100% reliable because many a times if I have an antivirus, then too some or the other virus comes in. The user always run the risk of losing the data in the computer, and it is infected due to the failure of antivirus software. Right? If my antivirus software only crashed, or it's not there, or it's not updated, many different things can happen, and still my computer is at risk. Finally, antivirus software often gives a false alarm and may delete the files assuming the existence of the virus. Correct? So it's not true that whenever antivirus is telling me this is a virus, okay, and telling me that it is a virus, it will tell me to delete, or he himself will delete those files. So that is not good, right? So it can be a false alarm, wherein many exe files when we run, we get a alert message, right? That is virus alert. But still we have to click on anyway, install it, and then we can install the software. So what is the first advantages? It is free and open source. Second is it is free from virus. Third, easy to keep all the software up to date. Proprietary operating systems can update themselves, but they cannot update other softwares, right? Now, what do you mean by proprietary operating systems? Are the ones which are owned by the owner. There is a proprietor who is owning that particular software, correct? So we require so Windows or any licensed software, okay, it will update on its own, and he himself will be updated. The other softwares which are not proprietary will not be updated. But in Linux or in GNU, what happens is it operates whatever software it has, all are updated regularly. Okay, but they cannot be updated to other softwares, especially proprietary software. The user has to keep track of each application on his own. Linux distributions mostly use free software, so it keeps track of all the software
Hello,
that to repository. Yes.
ma'am. I'm speaking Vishwanatha. Ma'am, they are not allowing to come inside this school, ma'am.
And so you all are outside only.
Outside.
Array, but you were supposed to come before 8.
Ma'am, it was 8:05.
8:05 also they won't allow you. Before 8 you are supposed to come in.
Ma'am, yesterday and they were not told that, ma'am. Latecomers are not allowed.
Just wait and see whether watchman allows you to come in.
Okay,
Huh?
ma'am.
Just tell him that we are externals. Huh? Okay. So the softwares are updated by the new software itself. The package manager updates the operating system as well as the other softwares periodically. Okay, so Linux itself, GNU itself keeps a track of which softwares are being updated and which softwares need to be updated. For Windows, we have to, if the option of automatic update is not on, then we ourselves have to update it regularly, correct? But Linux, he himself will do that. So first point, why we need to learn Unix and why Unix is good is it's free of cost, it is open source, then it's free from viruses, and it keeps all the softwares up to date. Fourth point is it is flexible and easily customizable. The users can change the desktop, the position of the menus, status bar position, style, default file manager, icon themes, and lot more. It is flexible and easily customizable. That means the user can change the desktop, the position of the menus, status bar position, style, default file manager, icon themes, and a lot more can be changed or customized according to my needs. Okay, we can do that in the Linux. Almost everything in Linux is customized. Everything you can change and keep it as per your wish, as per your need. Excellent support. There are thousands of forums and millions of people ready to help open source software users. Each distribution has its own community of users and they help each other. Many software companies and developers of free software also offer solutions to the problems through community platforms and also through professional channels. So if you think of the support, if you come up with some problems, so there are many people who will be helping you out. You just need to post your problem uh, in the support system or in a forum or in the communities. Okay, if we have certain communities in which if I post my problem, I will be getting the solutions from many different people and that can give me the solution for my problem. Okay, 5 points, remember these. Next comes computer network. What is a computer network? It is a group of interconnected computers or devices to have communication within themselves. Okay, one computer wants to communicate to the other computer, yes they can do if they are in a network. A computer network consists of a collection of computers, printers, and other equipments that is connected together so that they can communicate with each other, right? It's not only the computer, but many devices such as printer, scanner, okay, your OCR, your MICR, all these devices also can be grouped into a network. There are three types of networks: LAN, MAN and WAN. And these are categorized depending on the area they cover. The entire use of implementation of these types depends on the geographical areas they cover. That is, LAN covers the smallest area, MAN covers the area larger than LAN, and WAN comprises the largest of all, right? So depending on the area, how much they cover, we have distributed the networks. First is LAN. LAN covers smaller geographical areas. Now, what do you mean by smaller? That means it is limited to few kilometers only. Okay, and that are owned privately. Second is usage area is limited to areas such as an office building, home hospital, schools, etc. Right? So in schools, in hospitals, we have the PCs on each floor. Right? So if I want to connect all the PCs in the building, I can do that with the help of LAN. It covers a short distance, and so the error and noise are minimized. The error what we get if we hold our mobile, right? If we are talking to someone on the mobile and we keep our speaker on, and the mobile is at far distance, so lot of noise is being heard, right? From my end and from his end, correct? Why? Because my device is kept afar and I'm talking on the speaker. But if I take it close to my mouth and if I talk to him properly, then there is no noise or no error, right? The same way in LAN also, short distance is covered, so noise and error are minimized. Next is LAN is easy to set up. Right? It's very easy. Just we need to plug in the wire and my network is ready. Data transmits at a very fast rate at the number of as the number of computers linked are limited, correct? So my data rate is fast because distance is also short and I have computers which are very nearby and limited. So I have 4 to 5 computers only. So my data speed, my data rate is very fast. It is a less expensive hardware and maintenance cost is also low. Just wires we need to plug in and the wires cost not more, not much, but it's not costly, right? That is what is LAN. Then we come on to MAN. MAN stands for Metropolitan Area Network. It covers all the metropolitan cities. MAN is large area than that of a LAN and smaller areas as compared to WAN. Right? It's in between. LAN and WAN. MAN is in between considering the area. It connects two or more separate computers that resides in the same or different cities. For LAN, I can't grow or I can't come out of the area what is being provided. But MAN can go out till cities. It can reach out till cities. Okay, different cities can be connected into a network. It covers a large geographical area and may serve as an ISP, that is Internet Service Provider. Now, for example, just consider I have a LAN in my HCC school. I wanted to connect my LAN to LFC and St. Joseph. Fine. So what I did, I connected them. Okay. With the wire cables only, I connected them. Then what I need to connect, I thought I have connected to LFC, St. Joseph and so on. I need to connect to the schools which are in Pune. I need to connect to the schools which are in Mumbai. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm spreading out. If I want to connect them, what I need to do? I need to go for MAN network. Previously, I had LAN and now I am wishing to go for MAN. And likewise, I have connected many cities and many cities. Then I'm going on for states and then I'm going on for countries, right? So as I want my connection, my network to be grown, the same way I need to change my networks. Now, it covers a large geographical area and may serve as ISP. It is hard to design and maintain a metropolitan network. It's Why it is hard to design is because I am designing now. It's if it was just designing in my school, right? So I can design it properly. Okay, if it was to LFC and St. Joseph, that too I can do. But if I want to go and reach out to other cities, it's a bit harder for me to design and to maintain also, because one PC is there in Sholapur and one PC is there in Mumbai, one PC is there in Pune, right? So maintenance and designing becomes a little tedious. Examples of MAN are the part of telephone company network that can provide a high speed DSL line to the customer or to the cable TV network in a city. Right now, how are these connected? With the help of your telephone network, because telephone wires are reached to each and every home, right? So, with those lines only, the digital subscriber lines we have. So, because of that only, the cities are connected. Next comes as WAN. Wide area network is a computer network that extends over a large geographical area. Okay, it has no limit. It goes on increasing and increasing. It might be confined within the bounds of a state or a country. Country to country network, state to state network. Correct. A WAN could be a collection of, now you will tell me, teacher, WAN is such a way, but there are certain LANs which are used to connect the full city, what we can say it as. Then all these different LANs are connected, and then we get a MAN, right? And many different MANs are connected, and then we get a WAN. Okay, and that is with the help of telephone lines and radio waves. We connect these with WAN. The technology is high speed and relatively expensive. In LAN, there wasn't any expensiveness because only wire cost was there. Metropolitan area, still it was a bit costlier than LAN, but not so costlier because telephone lines were used. But here in WAN, the cost is very high. Okay, and the speed is also high because at upper level we are going to send the data. A communication medium used for WAN is telephone network and satellite links, right? If it was just MTNL, that is Mumbai Telephone Exchange, okay? If we are involved with the small area telephone networks, then it's okay. But if we want to go for BSNL, right? That time we'll be considering it as WAN. They also will require telephone network, plus they'll also require satellite links. Due to long distance transmission, the noise and error tends to be more in WAN because the data or the communication is going on to a very long distance. So noise and error is to be there in the WAN. Okay. Now one homework for you all is you need to distinguish between LAN, MAN and WAN. Write the differences. Next we go on to network configuration, or it can be termed as network architecture. It is the design of a computer network. It is a framework for the specification of a network's physical components and their functional organization and configuration. Two of the most widely used types of network architecture are, which are the two network architecture, peer-to-peer and client-to-server. Okay. Now this is the network of physical components. That means I'm connected one PC to another, and that I can connect in the two forms, peer to peer and client side or server. Peer to peer is your friends group. Okay, all the group members in that group are students and they are friends. In this type of architecture, all the machines are called as peers. All machines are friends, have the same status, and they can communicate with any other peer directly. Right? You can talk to your friends in any way. A peer-to-peer network has no dedicated servers. There is no teacher in that group. It's just a friends group. Fine. So no dedicated servers. Its implementations are meant for small networks. Now, just small groups we have made for friends. For example, when students create a network to share files through Bluetooth or share it, the mobile devices from peer-to-peer network for transfer of files, right? When the students have created a group and they are sharing it, now it can be shared through WhatsApp, it can be shared through Bluetooth, it can be shared through share it. At that time, we have the phones or we have two mobiles in the network, which we can call it as peer-to-peer, friend-to-friend network, right? Wherein for transferring the files we are using. But if we consider client-server architecture, okay, there is a server which is being used by the clients. Here, all the machines are peer-to-peer. They themselves are connecting to each other and passing on the files. This type of architecture is most suitable for larger networks. Okay, where there are larger networks, so such kind of client to server architecture is used. So there are two types of machines in network, client and server. Who is a client? A client is a computer which is seeking any resources from another computer is a client computer who is receiving the sources. Okay, a server is the one who is giving and client is the one who is taking. For example, downloading an image file from a website. I am downloading an image, browsing intranet or internet, etc. The network user normally uses a client computer to perform this day-to-day work. Correct? If I want to download, I can download. If I want to edit certain images, I can edit those. So many different things what you do online through your computer are the ones who are using the particular service is known as client. But a server, it is a computer that has a resource which is served to another computer, right? Which is serving or which is giving is a server. The client establishes a connection to a server and accesses the services installed on the server. Right? Whatever is there, if he wants. Like a teacher is the one who is teaching and the students are the ones who are learning. Correct? A server is not meant for a network user to browse in network or do spreadsheet work. Servers are not for that purpose. Servers, for example, multimedia server, file storage server, web server, etc. Okay, so there are many different kinds of servers, but we are not using the servers for doing our own daily work. So that are specifically given for if it's a multimedia server or it's a storage server or it's a web server, right? Which is being used by the different clients. And only it's the server through which they can communicate to each other. Here, if you can see, they can communicate to any different device in their group, right? Any friend to friend they can contact. But here, no, friends should not talk to each other, but they should go through the server and they can talk. Now, what do you mean by internet? We have seen the computer network, we have seen the architecture, we have seen different types of networks, right? But now we come on to internet. Internet means connecting computer to any other computer anywhere in the world, right? Internet is the highway of information. It's the big way wherein we get the information. The internet has one very simple job to move computerized information known as data from one place to the another. What is he doing? He is doing the job. Which job? Transferring the data from one place to another. The internet is generally defined as a global network connecting millions of computers, right? It's a global network. It's not local, it's global, spread all over the globe, connecting millions of computers from different areas. The internet is a massive network of networks, a networking infrastructure. What can we call it as? A infrastructure, a big structure With the help of the internet, one can easily be in touch with anyone in the whole world by sending electronic mail. Correct? I can be in touch with my friends, with my colleagues, with my relatives which are there abroad through electronic mail. Nowadays, we have chatting, we have video calling facilities, right? So that we are close to each other. Travel bookings can be made very easily. One can order books or buy anything online. In simple terms, it may be said that internet provides a very strong connection or network between computers globally, bringing people and their working close to each other. Correct? Because of this strong connection or the network between the computers globally, people are have come close to each other. That is what is internet. History of internet. The first workable prototype of the internet came in the late 1960s. Okay, so that one protocol or prototype, what we can say it as, had come in 1960s with the creation of ARPANET. What is ARPANET? ARPANET is Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. Okay. Originally, it was funded by the US Department of Defense. It was started for defense people. ARPANET used packet switching to allow multiple computers to communicate to a single network on a single network, right? They started for the defense people for communicating the messages, okay, which they wanted to send. They can communicate if the computers are in networks. So there was a single network with multiple computers communicating to each other. The technology continued to grow in 1970s after scientist Robert Kahn and Winton Kerr developed transmission control protocol and internet protocol. Okay. Later on in 1970s, these two guys came up and they brought TCP/IP protocols which were being used later. Now, what are these TCP/IP protocols? A communication models. Okay, that set standards of how data could be transmitted between multiple networks. How these can be transformed with the help of TCP/IP. We can finalize how the data will go. So that is a communication model. ARPANET adopted TCP/IP in Jan 1, 1983. After 1970s, they all started working on TCP/IP, and ARPANET adopted TCP/IP in 1983. And from there, researchers began to assemble the network of networks. From there, they started updating and involving many different networks in a one single network. That became the modern internet. The online world then took more recognizable form in 1990s when computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee invented World Wide Web. Right after that only we started with the internet, and everywhere across all the people, internet was being used by them. A protocol. What do you mean by a protocol? A protocol is a set of instructions, a set of rules that govern the communication between computers on a network. That means there should be a proper legal way of communication. Okay, there are rules which you are supposed to follow if you want to come into my network, right? So that are protocols. In order to have two computers to talk to each other, they must be speaking the same language. Correct. If I want to convey a message to him, he needs to convey the message to me, then I need to have a common language, same language between us so that we can speak. That is what is protocol. First example of protocol is TCP/IP. Now, where is this TCP/IP used? Transmission control protocol and internet protocol. It breaks down the message into packets and sends them out into the network. So, what is the work of TCP, transmission control protocol? It's controlling the transmission, right? It breaks down the data into certain packets and then it starts sending the packets. So, this is what is a is one kind of rule wherein I can send the data in smaller packets. Okay. At the other end also, he need to receive the packets of each and every data and combine them and give the output. DNS, domain naming system, it translates network address such as IP address into terms understood by humans such as domain names and vice versa. Okay, now what do you mean by domain names is, for example, if I give you .com, .com is commercial websites, .gov, government websites, .min, military websites, right? So instead of the numbers IP address, I have given these IP address as names, okay, which is understood by humans, so that we can communicate to each other if it's understood. And so if we have DNS, we can understand which domain name is the website belongs to. Next is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It can automatically assign internet addresses to computers and users, right? It is helping me to give the addresses. Each and every computer has to have an address, and that address is in the form of your IP address. Okay. So dynamic host configuration protocol is configuring what IP address is there, what different things are there dynamically on the different computers. FTP, file transfer protocol, a protocol that is used to transfer and manipulate files on the internet. If we are downloading something, we are using FTP. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and internet-based protocol for sending and receiving web pages, right? We have to write HTTP in our address bar, then only it will be seen and the page can be loaded. Next is IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, a protocol for receiving email messages from server on the internet. It maintains a copy of the emails or server. Okay. IMAP is Internet Message Access Protocol. I am accessing certain internet messages like email messages. I am receiving those email messages and sending those email messages. It maintains a copy of all emails on server. Okay, right? When I am asking it for my email, it has to go to server and it will open all my mails which are there in my email. So this IMAP is used to copy of all the emails on server. We can sort, we can filter, and we can get the mails. Okay, that is what is